Welcome back to Fear the Waves Inside the Wave Show. I'm here with a special guest and Defensive Player of the Week this week, Micah Robinson.
Yes, sir. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
And John Burrows as well is joining us online. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to go through Micah's big play with him. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us virtually. Mike and I are here. I don't know if you can guess if you're watching on YouTube, but we're here in Yeoman Stadium. You can see part of the Devin Walker scoreboard, the new one, to my left on the screen, and the Wilson Center behind us. Micah, it's been a couple big weeks for you. You were my number one top player against Rice for having two takeaways, a fumble recovery, and a forced fumble. A part of two takeaways are the forced fumble and interception. And then last week, you were our defensive player of the week on my iPop's top players for a pick-6. It's been 2 big weeks and having 3 turnovers in the last 3 games. How does it feel?
It feels great, honestly. It's just something I've been working towards for a while, and all I have to say, that's what I came to Tulane to do.
For as nice as the takeaways has been, and I'm sure that's a great feeling, you've barely allowed any catches and any yards all season. You've been a lockdown corner, getting a bunch of PBUs, including one in the last game, and also 3 stops. Did you feel like you played well last week?
Honestly, so first half, I would say it was a little shaky for me. You know, a few missed tackles, but other than that, I've just been trying to play consistent, and trying to play in the scheme of what coach's game plan is every week.
I think you're a little bit hard on yourself because the data thinks that you only missed 1 tackle, but I know John Summerall did mention that missed tackle. He told the press afterwards that he was very proud of you for tackling well in the second half and catching up with the receivers after you missed that first tackle. What did he tell you?
So I'm hard on myself. You know, that first the tackle I missed that he was talking about, I think they might have popped that for about 20, 25 yards, but he just came up to me at halftime. He said, I've been tackling well all season. He said I had done it well in fall camp. He knew I could do it. He just said, go out there and play how I usually play and just get the job done.
Awesome. Your dad is someone who's been a huge supporter of the Tulane Green Wave this season. How important is he to you in being here at Tulane?
Yeah, I talk to my dad every week. You know, he lives about 6-7 hours away, but he never misses a game, honestly. But me and my dad, we've been close knit. I mean, that's like my rock. I think he's been supporting me throughout this football journey for as long as I've been playing. So
that's awesome. Family seems to be an important value of this Tulane team, right?
Yeah, it does.
I got one more question for you. So you played at Furman, which is an FCS school for those who aren't aware, and now transferred over to Tulane. And in the spring, I was saying, you know, I believe in this cornerback group, but I just don't know if they're going to perform. We weren't the only transfer from a lower level. And you were shut down at Furman. You had 5 interceptions, plenty of passes defended, didn't allow too many yards. But you just never know how that translates to FBS, especially at the cornerback position. So how hard of a transition was it for you to play at the FCS level and now go and dominate in the American Conference?
Yeah, so my dad, you know, he was the main person, you know, always in my ear. He just let me know. He said, Micah, whatever I wanted to do, he was going to support my decision. But if I did want to go to higher, better conference, he said, at the end of the day, football is football. And this is something I've been doing since I was 4 years old. So, you know, just having him by my side and having the confidence to know I can come out here and play with anybody on the field that just makes me, you know, feel great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think can y'all hear me now? I lost internet there for a second. I just want to make sure I'm good. Okay, sweet. I think now would be a great time to react or get your reaction, I guess, to what was very arguably the play of the game. I think you know where I'm going with this, but we're gonna play the video first.
Stats don't say it's arguable, actually. The analytics.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Oh, intercepted. Touchdown. Micah Robinson saw that from a mile away. And Matt, they've run the hitches out there a bunch. A couple of times they've run the hitches out there and gotten away with it. And Micah Robinson sits on this. He saw that right from the beginning. He saw the hitch come.
So they've been running those hitches all game. So was that something that you saw on film, or something that you had been seeing over the course of the game, or was that instinct?
Yeah.
So just kind of take us through how that happened.
So honestly, one of those missed tackles I was talking about earlier, that came from a hitch early in the game. He caught the ball, and I started my feet a little bit. Missed with leverage. We still got him down, but at the end of the day, I missed a tackle. But they had ran that hitch, and then another hitch in the second quarter. I came back to the sideline, and Coach JJ just told me, he said, just keep playing the way I'm playing. He said the hitches, they're not going to hurt us they're not going to hurt us if I come down and make the tackle, But I want to say I got my interception with a few minutes left in the third quarter. But the drive before that, the offensive drive that was going on before our defensive drive, I was talking to Coach JJ on the sideline, and I said, I'm gonna try to play a little closer to the receiver, so I can have an extra step just in case they do throw that ball again. And when the ball hiked, got my eyes to the quarterback, took my usual reads, and just came out the break real smooth.
When you make a play like that based on, an adjustment that you made, something that, you saw and you were prepared for, is it more rewarding than when you just kind of luck into an interception?
Say that again?
Whenever you make a play like that based on adjustments that you made, or a high IQ kind of adjustment like that, is it more rewarding to you than when, a ball just kind of falls in your hands and you luck into an interception, or are they all the same?
As a cornerback, pick-6s are hard to come by. That was the first one of my football career in general. I've never had a pick-6. So just making that adjustment and then it actually happening, most guys get that perfect break and the quarterback will just look them off. This time he happened to throw the ball and I had to make the most of it.
Most Tulane fans would laugh at you saying that a pick-6 is hard to come by, but you're right. It's just that Tulane leads the nation with 5 now, thanks to you, and are not that far off from the NCAA record as well. You had 5 picks over your last 2 years at Furman and already 2 on this season. So that is something that you seem to – it can't be luck if you're having that many interceptions.
Yeah, luckily
those are great numbers.
Yeah, luckily my friends at Furman used to joke, said I had a rabbit foot, but the ball just happens to find me and I try to take advantage of that.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but at a certain point, you got to say it's not luck and you're just good, So whatever way you can get to the ball, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I want to talk a little bit about your journey to Tulane. You transferred over from Furman. What was it about Tulane that made you want to join this team?
Yeah, so when I entered the portal, I want to say Tulane was actually one of the first schools to reach out to me. And, me and my family were big on relationships, along with just trusting where God led me to. But I had been knowing Coach Green. Coach Green helped recruit me when he was at Wofford about 5 years ago, before I committed to Furman. Furman and Wofford are actually they compete against each other. So, just having that relationship and seeing them bring in Coach Summerall, who was just a winner, honestly, going Power 5 didn't really do anything to me as much. I just wanted to go somewhere where I knew I could trust the coaching staff and knew they had put me on the field for playing time.
Absolutely. And since you got to Tulane, what have been your first impressions of New Orleans, the city, and what have been your first impressions of this team?
I love the city of New Orleans. The only thing I don't like are all the potholes that are around. But I had a couple friends. When I first got here, I had Jalen Geiger, Lou Tillery, Jonathan. We were all together within the first month or two a lot during summer camp. But as a city and as a team as a whole, I have no complaints whatsoever. And I'm just blessed to be here, honestly.
When you make the jump like that from Furman up to Tulane, I'm curious to know who are some of the guys, or who was the one guy that stood out to you immediately during practices on Tulane team, whether it's someone that you were playing with on defense or someone you were going up against on offense, where you were just kind of like, wow, this is different.
Well, just guarding all our receivers, I realized, the game moves a little bit faster at this level, but I would have to say Micah Hughes. He jumped out to me. That's a big back. That's a strong back. First couple of days of fall camp, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely that guy. But I can't really pick out anybody specifically, but got here, I realized everybody in the corner room was good, and I realized the receivers we were guarding at practice. I just didn't see there being many other receivers in this conference better than the guys we guard at practice every day.
Yeah, it's interesting. We kind of went into this offseason with, the perception was that receiver might be a weakness for Tulane, and then we added great guys in the portal, and guys like Sean Nicholas, freshmen stepped up, and all of a sudden it's one of the strengths of this team. So that's just a great way, and you're a great example also of the new modern landscape of college football, how you can really change a team in an offseason a lot more than what you used to be able to. Now we're 9 games into the season, 7-2, conference championship, national championship, playoffs. What kind of within the locker room, what is talked about as the goal right now for this team? What is the next thing to accomplish?
Yeah, the goal every week, honestly, it's just to go 1-0. That's one thing I like about this team. We honestly don't look down the road. Coach Summerall makes sure we keep our head on straight for whoever we're playing on the upcoming Saturday. And I would say that's since our last loss, we haven't lost a conference game yet, and I think let me start over. We haven't lost a conference game yet, and that just shows, not to take anybody lightly and to just worry about what's in front of you instead of what's ahead.
Longest conference winning streak in the whole nation, going back to last year.
I got one more for you, Micah. What do you think the key is to beating Temple this Saturday at homecoming?
I would say just do what we do as a defense. Whatever Coach Gass wants to call on the sideline, that's what we'll do. Just making sure we got all 11 guys on the same page.
Love it. Isaac?
Awesome. Micah, thanks so much for joining Inside the Wave. I hope you make my iPop's top players again. And if so, at the top, congrats on 2 huge games recently, especially with the Pick-6, kind of icing the game in Charlotte on primetime ESPN. Looking forward to this homecoming match against Temple, and then on the road to Navy. Win the next 2 games, and you're in the conference championship. So roll Wave.
Yes, sir. Roll Wave. Appreciate y'all having me.